What's up guys, and welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be looking at some upgrades I'm making to my PC setup. I have a lot of products from this company and I utilize them all in different ways, and they're all just really helpful and really useful at getting things done in a simple way. And that's the majority of the reason why I try to stay in this ecosystem. But today we're going to be looking at something that weirdly I've had sat on my shelf unopened for like over a year now. And that is the Elgato Stream Deck Mark II, the white version. My whole setup is pretty much white, which is great. So I've had the original version of this for a long time, and honestly I use it all the time where I'm recording stuff, especially for the fighting fantasy stuff as well. If you guys watch those on my channel, I do want to do a more in-depth video on how I work that into the system and how it basically allows us to do everything on there, which is really cool. Just had this essentially downstairs because I wanted to use this for my consoles and for VR and stuff like that, but when it came down to it with a VR headset on, I just wasn't able to use the Stream Deck, so it kind of just sat there and I kept my old one up here waiting for the moment to try and move it around. But I've recently just bought a lot of stuff for my PC to just make it more, what's the word, refined and stuff like that. So I've got a lot of the IQ stuff from Corsair, so I thought, you know what, this is probably the best time I'm gonna get to stick this in there. It fits with the white scheme. And essentially what this is, if you don't know, a Stream Deck is a programmable macro program. Basically you can set any of the 15 keys on here to do whatever you want essentially, and there's so many plugins on the Elgato software which can make things so much easier. So I've got my original one still plugged in before I open a new one, and there's just a few things that I want to show you that I can do right now. And I haven't hooked this up to the whole system, but Corsair is now working with companies like Govee as well, which the majority of my smart lights in this room are all Govee. I've seen they got the lamp there behind me, and I've got the Aura lamp here, and you can basically command all of this to work with your Stream Deck and the light as well, which I'll show you in a bit. But essentially I can press buttons on here and it will do things like turn off and turn on lights. You can do this for your streaming lights. You can set this up to work with your webcam and to do anything on your computer, like open programs, close programs, and I just absolutely love it. So I'm gonna have a look at this one for you now. So this is the Mark II, and I believe the only real differences between this and the original one is the color scheme. The stand is different, so I don't think it adjusts as much, which means it won't fall over, but it's also a bit of a detractor for some people who like to, you know, slide underneath. But I haven't really looked at it, so I don't know. It also has a USB-C cable which is detachable, so if you weren't using it all the time, you can now, you know, just pull the cable out and slot it away. So that is a plus. This one also has interchangeable faceplate, so you can customize it however you want. I've just got the base version. I haven't really looked into it, but I would like to try out some if we see some that might fit my setup more. But yeah, I'm definitely into this ecosystem with the lights and everything, and it just works fantastic. So I'm going to open this up and get it out. I will be showing you some b-roll of the device as well, but I just think if you're looking to get into streaming or anything like that, this is like the perfect device that can just help you out. They have a new product out now, which is the Stream Deck Plus, and that one actually has multiple dials on it and touch screens and slidable screens, so you can do everything you can do on this one, but even more, especially when it comes to audio interfaces and dialing down the settings to like the minute details like the brightness levels and the audio levels. So we've opened it up and we're gonna have a quick look at it. So from what I can see, it does look very similar. It looks a bit more sort of polished. I don't know, this is the white version anyway. I just love the white stuff, so that sounded weird. So let's get this thing out and have a look at it. So as you can see, yeah, this isn't all-in-one this time around. I'm filming this with the Facecam Pro as well, so the autofocus, so that is another piece of software you can interact with this in a very nice way, like using the focus or zooming in at the touch of a button. So like I said, this is all built in now, so there is no way you can slide it down and prop it underneath. So if you do have a low down setup where your monitor is pretty low, you're not going to be able to slide this underneath. But I suppose that's really not a massive problem depending on where you keep this thing. It's got a really nice sturdy stand, so it doesn't look like this one is going to break anytime soon. I think you take this film off and it has like a sort of a rubbery bottom to keep it nice and sturdy. So we have the 15 keys there that are all programmable to anything you want essentially, and I'll go into more detail with that in a bit. We have the Elgato logo there on the top. Also inside the box, I'm assuming this is going to be a USB-C cable to connect it all up. Not sure how much power this thing needs. I do know that some of the things like the Facecam Pro, you definitely need a high level of USB power, so the USB 3 port is definitely recommended. I'm going to guess the same with this one as well. So we have a pretty lengthy USB-C cable there to go into it. So yeah, this is the device. It's as simple as that. You plug it in, you get the software, the Elgato Stream Deck software, and then you should just go from there. It's the perfect device to just learn about and figure out many things, because like I said, I've had mine for a long time, the original one, but I just haven't started utilizing it properly until more recently. But the Fighting Fantasy is where it comes in the most handy, but just for everyday things and streaming, it is a perfect thing, because you can turn your lights on at the touch of a button, you can set your whole setup to come on, you can open a program, you can open streams, especially if you are streaming or recording, you can stop recording, you can start recording. There's so many different things you can do with this, and the different plugins that you can work with now, like I think there's Razer, Govee, the whole IQ system on the PC as well, so you can change the lighting, you can also sense the CPU power levels and everything. So sometimes if you're playing a game full screen and you want to just see how much RAM is being used or how much power is being used, you can actually set a sensor on the device to tell you if you're using like 500 watts or something, and it just gives you a good indicator of where you are and how much power you're using. So there's so many different things you can do with it. You can also check your internet speeds, either the touch of a button or just having the button on the screen. You can use GIFs and images to have as an icon for each of these as well, which can be really funny as well. So in our streams, we have an enemy selector, basically, where when we have to fight an enemy in a Fighting Fantasy book, we have the images or the GIF of the enemy on the screen. So it's really nice and easy for us to actually see what we're going to be fighting when we press the button, and it just has just all this fun factor. You're seeing a full board. It's like a Mortal Kombat character select screen. So I just absolutely love this device, and yeah, I love the whole ecosystem and how everything works together. There's so many different things you can do that I haven't even figured out yet. So I'm gonna have a quick little look through what you can do. You can play sounds on the soundboard, you can set a timer, you can change the brightness of your screen, of your device's screen, you can change between scenes on a stream, which is definitely very handy, especially if you're going from like a welcome screen or a be right back screen, or if you're going between different types of gameplay. In our Fighting Fantasy ones, we have an inventory screen or we have a battle page, and it's really nice for us to just press the button and get straight to where we need to go without clicking around. You can have counters as well, so if you're playing a game where you die, like Dark Souls, you can have a death counter. Every time you die, you just press a button and a counter pops up on the screen. We use that as well for adding and subtracting HP in our Fighting Fantasy streams, which has been a godsend, because it saves us having to do 3 or 4 clicks and then type without trying to mess things up or pressing end stream key. It's just a lot easier for us to just tap it and deduct points and stuff. So there's so many things that you can do on this device, which I absolutely love. I'd highly recommend one of you getting into the streaming sort of ecosystem and you want an easy way to figure out how to do things. It's perfect for that. And it's not only for streaming or gaming, you can do it for everything. People use them for like spreadsheets or for audio mixing or video editing. It's just a great device, and I would absolutely recommend it. Like I said, I've not tried out the Stream Deck Plus, but I will be adding that to the collection at some point, and I would love to see how that even enhances it further, because you can attach multiple of these devices up as well. So you can have a small one, the huge one, and then the Plus, and you can kind of use the benefits and perks of each one to just have the ultimate setup at your fingertips. So thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you've enjoyed it. Let me know your thoughts down below. How do you use your Stream Deck? How do you work it into your systems? What is the most interesting or unique thing you can do with yours? Let me know down below in the comment section, guys, and I will be back with some more videos like this very soon.